Chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
He's number one right now. Number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has finally opened up about his comeback plans for 2026. He confirmed that his first priority is the much-talked-about matchup with Mike Tyson later this year, though he stressed that it will strictly be an exhibition. What really grabbed people's attention, though, was his hint that once the Tyson event is behind him, he's gearing up for a real professional fight, possibly against Terence Crawford. Mayweather said discussions are underway for a fully sanctioned bout, and emphasized that both he and his team are working non-stop to make his official return a reality.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Whenever fans bring up dream matchups in boxing, Floyd Mayweather's name always seems to find its way into the conversation. Even in retirement, his shadow still hangs over the sport, and debates about how he would fare against today's champions never seem to fade. Recently, Robert Garcia stepped in with some blunt insight regarding a hypothetical Floyd versus Terence Crawford clash. Garcia pointed out that while Mayweather's resume is legendary, he never achieved what both Crawford and Manny Pacquiao did, becoming undisputed champions. Still, Garcia admitted that despite that fact, his respect for Floyd's skill set and presence makes him lean toward picking Mayweather if such a fantasy fight ever took place.
Man, he doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed, is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more. Pacquiao was 8 divisions, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Garcia didn't hold back when highlighting the things that make Crawford stand out. He reminded fans that Crawford accomplished something Mayweather never did, collecting every major title in a weight class. Manny Pacquiao also carved his place in history with groundbreaking success across multiple divisions, earning undisputed recognition along the way. Garcia explained that this is the one area where Floyd's career feels incomplete. Mayweather dominated era after era, stayed unbeaten, and picked up iconic wins, but he never claimed undisputed status. For Garcia, that doesn't take anything away from Floyd's greatness, it just underscores why Crawford deserves to be mentioned among the sport's most complete fighters. Yet even after acknowledging Crawford's accomplishments, Garcia said his experience in boxing makes him side with Floyd, insisting that Mayweather's defense, timing, and IQ were on a level nobody else matched.
I'd probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's gonna be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Adido added another layer to the discussion, saying Floyd Mayweather essentially has 2 legendary versions of himself. First, there was Pretty Boy Floyd, the young, fearless fighter who overwhelmed opponents with speed, combinations, and relentless pressure. Then came Money Mayweather, the mastermind, the defensive genius, the business mogul who became the face of pay-per-view boxing. Olau described Floyd as an architect who built not just a style, but an entire persona, giving each version of himself its own mythos. Pretty Boy earned fans through risks and knockouts, while Money Mayweather drew global attention with strategy, psychology, and massive spectacles. Together, these two eras cemented Floyd's legacy as more than a fighter. He became one of the key figures shaping the modern business side of boxing.
I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom. But sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, you should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. You know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fight, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fights, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was like, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Zab Judah, who once shared the ring with Mayweather, didn't hesitate to crown Terence Crawford as the top fighter of this generation. He said every era has its standout, and right now, that spotlight belongs to Crawford. Judah recalled when Canelo Alvarez suggested Crawford might actually surpass Floyd in skill, something Judah thinks should be taken seriously. In his view, Crawford has already proven he can dominate elite opponents across multiple divisions, and his all-around style is so complete that nobody has figured out how to crack it. Judah made it clear that while he respects Floyd's legacy, today's moment belongs to Crawford. He believes it's natural to compare fighters across eras, but emphasizes that Crawford deserves recognition as the #1 fighter of this time.
This is his generation, this is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What do you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, that he know?
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You'd like to see a rematch?
Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'd be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, I think so.
Breadman Edwards, however, had a completely different viewpoint. He shut down the idea of a Mayweather versus Crawford matchup altogether, arguing that it feels forced and unnecessary. Edwards said Crawford should be allowed to enjoy the success he's earning right now rather than constantly being stacked up against legends from the past. He added that if Floyd wants a big-name attraction, a fight with Roy Jones Jr. would actually make more sense, purely because of the star power and curiosity it would generate. In Edwards' eyes, Crawford is in his prime and should be celebrated for what he's accomplishing instead of being dragged into endless fantasy discussions. He believes comparing him to Floyd takes away from the historic importance of Crawford's achievements, and that boxing should stop chasing impossible matchups and let today's great fighters have their own spotlight.
You're never gonna get this fight, unfortunately. Just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win, but if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man, I don't know? Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, you know, and competitive guys, next thing you know, Bud and Floyd to be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. You know, it's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, like, and make up something just to, I got my opinion on, you know, how the fights will go, and, you know, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And, you know, unfortunately, they didn't fight. You know, they could have made, they kind of two different eras though, even though they was fighting at the same time. Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Sean Porter also weighed in on the odd announcement of Mayweather versus Tyson, calling it more like a potential street fight than a legitimate boxing match. He explained that there's real tension between Floyd and Mike, with both holding long-standing resentment toward each other. According to Porter, that kind of animosity could make the fight personal, something that goes way beyond tactics or skill. Because of that, he doubts any official commission would approve it as a sanctioned event. Porter said the spectacle might attract massive attention, but it could also cross boundaries the sport doesn't want to approach. In his opinion, the risk outweighs the reward, making him question whether the fight will ever happen in a proper ring. Several analysts echoed his concerns, criticizing the growing trend of exhibition fights featuring legends like Floyd, Mike Tyson, and even Jake Paul.
You don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
You're not kidding, right? You know, obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there, despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, you know, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like, we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable. But it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring, you know? It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
Falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So,
right.
Many analysts pointed out that fans didn't even enjoy Jake Paul's exhibitions, raising the question of why boxing keeps leaning on retired icons instead of building up today's stars. To them, this signals a deeper issue: current fighters aren't generating enough mainstream buzz on their own. They worry that if this continues, boxing will become overly dependent on nostalgia instead of pushing forward with real competitive matchups and the next generation of talent.
Stuff like this? No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta's a sitting champion. At least these two are retired, but this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue, but it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turki Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not to engage with him, but Jake not engaging with him just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight, because clearly Mike is not the same, and clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
That wraps up today's video. Make sure to stick around for what's coming next.